What's going on, everybody? It's your man Rus T Blade here at Smokey Studios, and to the right of me I have a legend of the city. And if you've been under a rock and you don't know who this man is, every CD you ever listen to, anything dealing with music, it come right here from Chicago's very own George Daniels. How you doing?
I'm in good shape. How's everything with you?
Man, everything is groovy. I'm glad to be sitting here talking to you because one thing we as people, it's good to always get knowledge from our elders. Always sit down and have a conversation with one of your elders if you never do, because it's a vast array of knowledge from this man right here. So can you tell me what's going on?
I appreciate the way you just explained that, because it's all about a journey through life and the uniqueness about the hip-hop community, which started out as rap. Hip-hop became a lifestyle. And see, so it's going on over generations. And so it's a thing of really understanding the power of the imaging, because, you know, we have children and grandchildren and what have you, and they see these images and they hear the music. And so I've watched the evolution of it. I mean, from the beginning to through house, and now as is hip-hop, how it controls.
It definitely can be controlled in that manner, because advertising is a form of controlling the brain. What you see repeatedly, what you listen to repeatedly, you'll get it in your subconscious. I want this product. So I definitely understand how music as a whole can be used to, brainwash you in a sense. But like you said, you've been there for a beginning. What was your very first love with music? What got you started with the love of music?
Well, it's not a particular time or an event in particular as far as hearing music. You grow up and you hear it with your family and so on and so forth. But for me, being influenced by the industry in itself, I had just gotten out of high school and I met a person, started hanging out. She had one more year at Hyde Park High School, and she had a part-time job at Chess Records here in Chicago. That's the label, Etta James and so on and so forth. So we started associating and what have you. So that's where the beginning of my involvement in music, based upon, as far as it being from a commercial standpoint.
Now, you made like you say, a lifestyle, a lifelong love of music. You had George's Music Room out on Roosevelt on the west side, yeah. And then it moved into, if I'm correct, O'Hare? Midway. Okay, then it moved into Midway. Now, what got you started saying, well, I want to go ahead and give the people a place to come get this music that it wasn't readily available at the time?
Well, back in the day, because you all are quite young, but, there was no Tower Records, there was no chain stores. Here in Chicago, there was a place called Rose Records downtown on Wabash. That was the only actually white store, pop store, that had, a wide array of black music. Other than that, you bought your music from these neighborhood places like Sonny's TV Repair and Records, Lee and Bob's Cleaners and Records. They had the 50 nails on the wall. There were very few stores like mine who were strictly all music. But bottom line is, it's me and the tens of thousands of places like myself across this country that were the access points to get black music to the community. And this is something that's been totally overlooked in all of these movies and stuff. And kind of, it disturbs me to a degree, because I've been doing it a long time. And to recognize whether it's the movies and, the TV shows that have become real popular that deal with music, there was no way the biggest music in the world right now, which is hip-hop, would have ever grew a wing if it wasn't for black record stores, the retail stores across this country, in every little hamlet and corner. I tell you, this 4 SoundScan, okay, which was a scam. But the bottom line is, these other stories we can talk about later. But it's real important for us to recognize, we're in charge of what we hear. And one of the most unique things, before 1996, you could only own 2 radio stations in any market in America. I don't know if most folks recognize that or realize it, but It was called the Telecommunications Act of 1996, and Bill Clinton signed it. That's what brought on the chain operations. This is why you can't tell if you come from Seattle, Washington, or Miami when it comes to hip-hop, or New York or Chicago anymore. It's all the same beat because it's corporate now, so they don't give a crap. Bottom line is, back in the day, oh, that's New York. That's Houston. Oh, that's even New Orleans. Yeah. Oh, you definitely from Miami. And this is now, where's the diversity? Where is it? I mean, man, look, excuse me, but all you young cats, man, y'all all even look alike. Dang, y'all dress alike, and show you everything, you know, because all the music is the same, so you got to look the same. Where you individuals at, man? Come on, man. We need some, change the beat a little bit. Damn. Everybody got the same beat. Yeah, I remember James Brown did that shit. Bottom line is,
Man, that's fact. See, again, just a rare knowledge, because this is true. When you package something to the consumer, as you said, this is all they see. This is all they think of. So you got a person that sounds the same. You got a person that dressed the same. Everybody's scared to be an individual now.
Well, this again, it's become corporate world. You know, you have certain brands that validate, you know, your success or whatever. You know, you can go to Macy's or Walmart, Men's Department, Ladies Department. Yeah, they got 47 shirts, just different sizes, the same exact pattern. So they know how many. Now multiply the stores. Bottom line is, you see something enough, that's going to be what it is. And this is how they market. And just think about it. They capitalized it because now you got the same beat. Y'all don't hear no blues, you don't hear no jazz, you don't hear no R&B, some instrumentals. It's nothing to make you think. You know, you got hip hop and video games. Your kids gonna be screwed up, man. Hey, my grandkids too, I guess. Huh?
And that's true, because they got hip hop integrated in the video games right now.
Well, I'm teaching them to be individuals like myself. Cause look, you know, frankly, I don't want to upset anybody, but I don't hang with people my age. You know, all they do is bitch about y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't remember when we were your age or so. So I'm just getting a kick out of still being relevant in the game, you know, and I still enjoy it, but it's really funny watching y'all try to figure shit out, figure stuff out. You know?
And this is true. Like when we was bumping the music and when George came in, Migos, he got right in. Like, man, and that's the key word. Getting with the youth. Now, I was sitting there with my youngsters listening to music when they was playing on the video game. Like, you know, I want to hear what they like. And I ended up liking some of the stuff they like. And I agree, that's how it keeps you young. So, being in the industry for so long, is there anything that you can go back and do over, would you change?
Yes, I would probably gotten more involved as far as my academics, okay? You know, I had the great work ethic of how to open a store and operate it, what have you, you know, because I could have been the George's Tower Records, you know? Bottom line is, I look back at that, but, you know, I don't dwell on it. Bottom line is, there have been many retailers like myself who are much larger, but they're still not relevant. But they didn't give up themselves, I assume. But like me, my mother worked until the last half an hour before I was born in their first restaurant in the Bronx, New York, right? And by the time I was like 3 or 4, they had 10 restaurants, 5 in Harlem, 5 in the Bronx. So the work ethic, the community involvement, recognized that, you know, you're more of a merchant than a businessman, because this is the neighborhood you grew up in. And the thing that disappoints me, the young people today, they just grew up with chain operations. They don't know Miss Johnson and, you know, Mr. Smith and so on, had the hardware, so on and so forth. And this is what, you know, it is what it is. But if you sit back and sometimes listen to your grandmama's music, you know what I'm saying? It might tell you the story. of where you come from, because if you don't just slow it down just a little bit, you're going to run into stuff and going to keep running into stuff because it's unnecessary to be that busy. You got to slow down, and you know, and it's usually dictated by the music. And so you young producers and what have you, come on, let's get creative. Let's recognize, just, you know, you can have some kind of beats hidden in between, but just y'all have to learn how to get some music to relax by. Okay? Bottom line is, everything you do is upbeat, it's constant, everything. And that's crazy. I mean, just think about it. When you look at the history of black music, man, when you go back to the jazz, the Motown era, you had different paces of music. Young people today, it's just one beat. That's one beat, and that kind of really limits you. You don't have no time to think. And I think that's why a lot of folks wind up in jail. These young cats, they don't have no room to think because their brain is just going like this. So, you know, some of you producers and radio people and, you know, promoters, slow it down, DJs. You know, cool the room down. You know what I'm saying? Just slow a brother up. You dig? It's about a lot. Yo, you jumping all over the damn place and whatever. So y'all be having them fights and shit. Look, I know that because I be at the clubs.
Oh, we know you there. You known throughout the city. Like I say, you have to be under the rock if you don't know who this man is. He done a lot for the city as a whole, and especially in the music era, period. Not just Chicago, but everywhere. Like he said, you had the mom and pop retailers when you came through. Not only did he have CDs, but you had the DVDs as well. Like anything you wanted, you went there and you had it.
Hey, I love the way you went to your generation, but I used to have 8 tracks too.
Hey.
And cassettes. Remember those things? But it's funny, you know, the person you had before was Sluggo. When you talk about the DJs and what have you, and people remember like Lil Lewis. Lil Lewis used to buy his first blank cassettes from my store. I had 15-minute blanks, man, way before people knew who the hell he was, okay? This is why I've enjoyed this journey through life, okay? The interaction I've had, and I've watched the growth. I've watched creative people come, not just through my store, but places I worked, because it's an art form for me. I mean, I was Etta James Driver when I was 17. Okay, it's a thing of, you know, knowing Muddy Waters and Hollywood, John Lee Hooker. You know, it's been an amazing journey. You know, like Sluggo was talking about how DJs got 15 minutes each. Back in the day, you know, you had the original Regal in Chicago, the Apollo in New York. You had the Uptown in Philadelphia, the Howard Theater in D.C. These were the palaces of black entertainment. In those days, it'd be 6 or 7 acts on a show. No tour buses. Everybody, like Cadillac Records. If you was a star, you had a Cadillac. And see, bottom line is, you did 5 shows a day. It was 6, 7 acts. Started at 1 o'clock. You signed in at 11. And that's at these. And after those theaters, because you went on a circuit, then you did the one-nighters. They call it the chitlins circuit. And see, these are what your rhythm section. This is the music, not a DJ. You see, so the transition of the music. This is why people, when you hear vinyl, you hear difference, because you've grown up with compressed music. It's all pushed in your brain is hearing it that way. And see, and all you hear is a beat. When you hear some vinyl, and you can hear the crackling, and you can hear them violins, and the unique thing about it, I was there in those studios, and it was the producer that made it happen. The guy was on the floor in the studio. You know, there wasn't no knobs like you got now. Everything is knobs, so all you got are machines, and they make beats and the whole darn thing. And so, you know, human beings aren't even involved, except the one that's creating the beats. The rest is all computerized. So, hey, I hope I see you when you get here.
See, man, like, this is why you sit down and talk to your elders. It's so much knowledge. Like, driving for Etta James, and I'm a little older, so I know who Eddie James is, and when you said Chess Records and things of that, even 8 tracks. See that I was a youngster, and you had the 8 track putting in there and they're riding. This was music and records and the crackling and things of this nature. I know all of that growing up, you know, so I understand now how it is digitized as well. It's only one sound. Everybody try to follow the same sound because you're scared to be an individual. He wasn't scared to be an individual. That's why he made his mark in this world, and you have to learn how to make your mark as well. Now, tell me, where can they find you to get to know more knowledge from you, George?
Leave me alone. I ain't telling nobody shit. I'm glad to say network. I zip that shit out of here. But I'm G Daniels 44 at Instagram and at George Daniels on all the other things, Facebook, and Twitter. Yeah.
It was a pleasure. It was an honor, not only to get to meet you, but to get to talk with you. So, this is Rus T Blade, Chicago's very own legend, George Daniels, Urban Grind TV. We out.
Okay, so when I get paid, do I get a check for this shit? Hi, I'm George Daniels from Chicago. They call me Chicago's Music Man, and you're watching Urban Grind TV.